give you a little idea what we deal with here in Vietnam, which is a very anti-skate city. No skateboard park. They approve money, the city council approved money, but with the current economic crisis in the United States, they did away with that money, so people here, skaters, have no place to go. Most of the business owners, including Frank Stout, have posted no skateboarding in all the private parking lots where kids grew up, where I grew up skating, in Utah shopping centers where I learned to skate. Now it's against the law, which is a drag. Richard Player did the same thing in Westwood. So right now I'm in a medical complex where they have small signs that say skateboarding is prohibited and trespassing, but basically they realize when they see a 47-year-old man that I'm not really going to be of any harm to their business. I'm not trying to break in. We just want some asphalt, some place to go, not have to buy drugs or break into people's homes. Skateboarding is not a crime. It's a Sunday afternoon, and twice today already I've had guys in pickup trucks scouting me out, giving me the big strong arm, trying to figure out what I'm doing, and when they see all I'm doing is riding a skateboard, they pretty much leave you the fuck alone. So it would be nice if we got some pro old school skate. It would help things a bit, man, the morale of the kids today. Speaking of carving, it's an erroneous assumption that when people describe carving on a skateboard, that all you do is lean on the toe side of your board or the heel side of your board to do a turn. That is not what a carve is. A carve, it took me until I was probably 46 years old to figure out exactly what a carve is. A carve comes from other sports besides skateboarding. The original Z-Boy crew were surfers. And the reason why they were such good skaters is that they already knew the moves before they took the board to land on wheels. So if you can imagine riding a board on the water that's in constant movement with a fin where you have to balance and you have to turn that board with no wheels or trucks, that's where the aesthetic of surf skating comes from. The carve is something that you can do both on a snowboard, on water skis. On a slalom water ski is probably the best example of that. So a carve is not just leaning on the front of your skateboard and having the board turn. If you just push down and bend your trucks, the board is going to turn, but that's not a carve. That's a turn. A carve is a stylized turn where you pivot on the axis of your body, weighting and unweighting like you would on a water ski. The best way for me to describe that, I had to study the Z-Boys quite intently before I figured out how to carve. You have to separate the top part of your body from the lower part of your body like you're doing the twist, like this. And this is how you pivot. If I'm riding goofy foot, which is the way that I ride, I place my feet like this. I'm not going to just bend forward and curve around. You have to pivot your body. So what I'm going to do is put the majority of my weight on my back foot, and then I'm going to shift and I'm going to twist like this and throw the back side of the board around and the front side this way. So you're basically doing a little slide like you would do on the water, and as you do that, you twist your body. If you're on a water ski, you would throw up a big column of water. That's what a carve is. I'll see if I can demonstrate it for you. So, turning as such is a much more stylized, aesthetically pleasing and functional way to ride a surfboard, very much in the style of other board sports. So, the nomenclature of the word skateboard is one word, really should be changed to skate board two separate words so that you realize what you're actually doing is skating on a board, not skateboarding. So the aesthetic comes from other board sports, which opens the scope of skateboarding to a much wider aesthetic, stylistically, and it's much more interesting. I'm going to start a new video now.